Hi everyone, Jan Fursdon here from Fursdon House. I have a new journal to share with you today. I was telling my husband a couple of weeks back I'd like to go to the beach. Now, don't get me wrong, I hate water. I'm terrified of water. But I love to go to the beach and look at the ocean. I love to be on a ship or a boat and look out at the ocean. It's so majestic and so amazingly, wow, just majestic, I guess is the best word for it. But obviously with all the pandemic, haven't been able to do that. So I thought, well, fine, I'll just bring the beach to me. And of course I like vintage over new. So this is a vintage Seaside journal. It is for sale in my Etsy shop, and I'll put those links below. I used a combination of DigiKits, and I'll put those links below from where I found their information on Etsy. And I also used, of course, my own ephemera and created some and all kinds of stuff. And there's bits of things that used to be jewelry, like this beautiful seahorse. He used to be a pin. Not anymore. But anyway, let's get started. What actually inspired me to do this was over a year ago. I was at a thrift shop and I found these, I guess they're cocktail napkins, and they're beautiful. They're just this peachy color, peachy orange, and then the cream. And there were a set of 8 of them. I've used 4 in this one, so I'll be able to make one more journal like this eventually when I'm wanting to. But I thought, wouldn't it make a neat journal to use those somehow? And I tried various things over the year or over the months, but nothing seemed to quite come together. So I just sort of put it aside. And it finally came together. So this is what inspired me to do that. And those are those napkins here. There's one on the front, as you can see. There's one on the back. And then there's a pocket in there in the very center, signature. As I said, this is just a pen. And there's a little bit of, I wanted to look kind of bubbles and then the sea and all that kind of stuff. And then there's, what's that stuff called? Cheesecloth, that's it. It is hardback. The dimensions are 5 3/4 inches. By 8.5 inches, and it's got about a 2 1/4 inch spine, and there are 3 signatures. Let's go ahead and open it up. I'm in a bit of a rush today. I've got so much going on. This it's just a lot going on. What can I say? I'd rather have a lot going on though than not. This is a letter to the purchaser. One of the shops that I got some information from DigiKits from is Vintage by the Sea. So I thought that's perfect. I like that name, so that's what I'm calling this journal. It's Vintage by the Sea. So I'll give her a little bit of advertising there, because she had some of the digis that I used. And again, this is a letter to the purchaser, and that's a little. I use glue, cream-colored glue. It doesn't break and come apart like the wax does. And then there's a bee that's pressed into there. And I've used a combination of lots of shell buttons and shell beads, and so there's some of that. They're so sweet. I love these designs. This one says, suppose there's a shark at the bottom. So it's a pocket. And here we have a little group of children on their little boat. And just some shell button bead things that I've had over the years. And here we have a little tuck spot, and I put seashells wherever I could. That's why I wanted the spine to be nice and thick, because I wanted to be able to put a lot of stuff in here that could just sit. And then here we have different journal cards. I just love vintage, and I love the graphics that they used. And when you consider that they had so much less to work with than we do nowadays, it's just amazing. Here we have just an accordion piece of ribbon, and this is part of a necklace that I tore apart. And this little darling is a little glass bead, and it's a turtle. And I thought, perfect. He needs to go in there. So I'm not sure if y'all can see him. Maybe if I can hold him closer to the... There he is. He's so sweet. I thought, well, okay, it's time to bring him out because he's been hiding in a drawer. This is a handmade paper flower from my friend Carrie. Hey, Carrie. And these are some strips of ribbon that I've made, belly band. This is an original postcard. Isn't she gorgeous? I just love the graphics. 1907. Although I don't think she'd look quite so calm and dress so nicely if she were literally out in a sailboat by the looks of those waves in there. As I said, it is an original. It's been addressed 1908. Looks like Greenville, Mississippi. Your stamp is on there. And it's to Miss Maddie Griffith, who lives in Memphis, Tennessee. So I thought those are neat. I love getting postcards that are real, you know, that are actually have been used. This little pocket is from my friend Renelle. Hey, Renelle. A friend is someone who reaches your hand but touches your heart. And that is so true. Little writing space on the reverse. She made these pockets. The only change I made is where she had a little butterfly, I stuck a seashell. Sorry, Renelle. Had to make it, you know, work. This is my second shaker card. I've never made these, and then a friend of mine I've gotten to know through YouTube, Andrea. Hey, Andrea. She asked if I would make one with an Edith Holden theme, and I did. I thought, well, this is kind of fun. So I thought this is the perfect way to use one here with all the beautiful little sea-colored beads. I'm hoping you can see the design in there. And it's just blank on the reverse. And you can use it as a pocket. I was like, are the beads going to come out? No, the beads will not come out. But there's your little card. Sweet little thing. So you not only have that card to write on, but you have others. You can put your own in there as well. Let me get her straightened up here so she's centered. And I'm just going to leave that stuff in there. Actually, I think I'm just going to move it aside. And then this is another postcard. And that is Sylvan Beach, New York. I find it cool and fear a storm is brewing. I love the look on her face. It's like, he looks like he's in trouble. And again, it is an original. This one was going from Syracuse City to Syracuse City. Where did I see I think it's, where is it? 1909. And I did this little strip, kind of mimic the black and white stripes that are on their suits there. And these are shell buttons. Here we have some little stickers. I've had these stickers for at least, oh goodness, 10 years. Got them at Hobby Lobby or Michael's. And they're from a kit, or not a kit, but a packet by Jolee, Jolee. And I'd forgotten I had them, and I started looking through some of my stuff to pull out everything nautical and Seaside and everything, and I found them, and I was like, yes! So that was cool. This is a reproduction of Venice, a map of Venice. And then we just have 3 cards here, journal cards. I've forgotten what kit those came in. I've had them for so long. Here we have, oh, this is so sweet. Now look. Of course, this is the type of outfit that a son would threaten to murder his mother over if she ever shared it with anyone, but oh well. And again, it's just a card. And I've made a little belly band out of some, what I call sea green craft paper. Scrapbook paper. And I put an actual shell, an abalone shell. I love abalone. It's so beautiful. And it's just a chunk there. It's a real piece. Here's a little fabric snippet I've made, and I put little tiny shell beads on it. Kind of reminded me of seaweed and stuff. And so it's like, okay, that'll go. And here is a little fish. I've had this fish again for ages and ages. Can you see him there? So I've decided to make use of things that I keep looking at and thinking they're sweet and then don't use them. Here we have another tuck spot, and this was actually one long picture, and it didn't, it was just too large to fit in there, and I didn't want to crease it. And then I realized I could just cut it in half and use it separately, but keep them together. I think that's called artistic license. This is just a flower, or a starfish, if you will, a starfish flower that I've created using an old coaster. And it's crocheted lace, and I've put an old vintage button on there and some cheesecloth. And here's a pocket that I've made with the original pages from the Edith Holden book. What is it? I should know it. I've got enough of them, and I've made enough of them. Oh, well, it'll come to me in a minute. Country Garden of an Edwardian Lady. Yeah, okay. But I like this because, again, it kind of reminds me of the sea and everything. And that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. But that is an original page. These aren't these sweet? They're just journal cards, lots of space. I always like to give a lot of space. Blackpool is in England, and I'm not sure what I'm assuming it's still a beach resort of some kind. Here's another little strip I did with buttons and old lace and cheesecloth, and it has a little key. This is a little pocket I made. It's one of those where you punch holes periodically and then you wind ribbon through it. Well, my ribbon was too small, so I just started using some beautiful, it's called watercolor lilies threads, some silk threads, and just kept playing with it, and I came up with that neat design, so that was kind of a nice surprise. Here we have more journal cards. They're so cute. I love them. Okay. And here we have another journal card, Coco. Yay! My favorite. And it's just blank on the reverse. And this is another one of those stickers that I was telling you about from Jolie. And that's just a little, it's got a butterfly on it, I believe. Just a little bead dangly there. Another, I'm not even going to take it out. It's blank on the reverse. A little beach scene. And that was the first signature, so I'm going to skip to the third signature, and then I'll go back and show you the second signature, because it was really neat. Do have a sari silk bookmark, and here is the third signature. Again, that's part of that necklace that I took apart. And we have I just love these. And I did a little bit of shell buttons and cheesecloth, which is actually seaweed, I'm sure. And it just slips right in there. And of course, you can add your own stuff in there as well. Another accordion ribbon. Another original postcard. This one is Bathing Beach, Hollywood Beach, Florida. And this one was written in 1953 from Hollywood, Florida, going to Mount Sterling, Kentucky. It's really neat. We are having a wonderful vacation, 11 of us from Paris. I don't know if that's from Paris, France, or Paris. You know, we've got a lot of states that have Paris in them. But they're staying here at the Seaside. And was so surprised to run into Louise and Tom and the Greens in Leesburg. And it's signed Nola, or Nala, I'm not sure which one. 2-cent stamp. It was just cool. Isn't that neat? Okay, and then that was on the other side of that. Just a little journal card. Vintage lady out with a little puppy. This is a little pocket that I made that I've kind of updated with a little shell button and a piece of shell and a little bit of, that's a, was it mother of pearl? Not mother of pearl. Freshwater pearl hanging down from there. And here another one of those stickers, and then just a little journal spot. They never want to go back when you're on camera. And that's just a little pocket. It's a variety of beach scenes. We have this one. And we have another postcard. It's just neat to see the progression of beach scenes. This one was in 1957, North Carolina, Wilmington, North Carolina, going to Mount Sterling, Kentucky again. But it's written from someone else. I don't know if they're related or what. Kind of amazing to find two going to Mount Sterling, Kentucky. So it might have been written by the same person. Who knows? Or the same family, maybe. Brighton. Brighton is in England. It's a lovely beach area, or at least it used to be. I'm assuming it still is. There that is. That's just from a K & Company flower. I like the colors on it. And on the reverse, this is a map we got while we were on our cruise last year. This is St. Kitts and Nevis in the Caribbean. And I got several of these. I just love them. So I wanted to be able to have plenty of... I've aged it a little bit, but you can use this to write, or you can actually send it somewhere if you'd like. But I just thought they were so pretty. So put him in there. Another journal card, vintage. And this is just a little kind of a seaweed flower I've made. At least, like I said, that's my story. Little shell button, and on it is a little heart, a little metal heart. And here we have another card. Sweet. Just blank on the reverse. In the center of the signatures, I've put little shells, attached little pieces of shell on the center threads in the signature. That's a little shell button that I've had for 3 or 4 years. A little bit of silk. Another seaside scene, a blank on the reverse. And this one was a pocket earlier in the first signature, but this one I wanted you to be able to take out and use if you wanted to. I think it's really neat. This one is a tuck spot with some of that necklace. I'm telling you, that necklace came in handy. And then that's a little shell button. And this is just a piece of tea-dyed coffee stain paper with a little silhouette. That's from the Tim Holtz collection of the wildflowers. Oh my goodness, they are so beautiful. Here we have some more journal cards. You'll see this is actually a smaller version of that one where I had 2 pieces and I did it large. So there's one side and there's the other. And there's it all together. And this little lass was in the shaker card. A little bit of silk there and a thing. This is a just a paper clip. And you can see what it's holding here on the reverse. I decided it would be fun to use an arrow. So I did. But it's that little scene, and then in here, just a little bit of journaling space. And some fun little buttons that kind of look like they're kind of nautical. And of course, space on the back to journal on. There's that sweet little boy again. This time it's a pocket, and I've used some different buttons. And we have 2 journal cards in here. Come on. Those 2. And we have a pocket here. And another journal card. Greetings from the Seaside. It's just right. Another of the K & Company flowers. I just love the colors. This was just a little envelope, and I purchased that from Etsy. I'll have to find her link. But I love those little envelopes. They're so sweet. And this one, because it had a map on it and sort of, I thought that would go. And I just put inside a bunch of little small journal cards. Tags, really. However you want to call it. These are great for putting inspirational quotes on. Those people who don't like to write a lot. Perfect spot for this. Look at this. A guy lying down there in a suit. And the English Bobby watching him. Might be the wife. They may have found him. He's in trouble. And all of these are blank on the reverse. I just thought it'd be fun to have them all in there. And here is another journal card. Sweet, sweet, sweet. So we just put that there and go ahead and quickly do that up. This, oh, okay, that came from a book. What is it called? Mom Almanac, I believe. Mom's Almanac. That's an original page, and it was just perfect. It's about talking about giving children swimming lessons. And this was, it's not removable. I needed it to be very steady, and I put a very thick piece of, not acetate, but something like acetate. It's very, very thick to protect it. I wanted to use it, but it was so fragile. If you took it out, the sand would come off of it. Let me see if you can get closer. So I wanted to, that's our neighbor's dog. Good morning, dog. He loves to make noise. But I wanted to put it in here, so I protected it really well. And it's just the neatest thing. I think it was also by that Jolie company, where they, you know, they sell stickers and really neat things. Hobby Lobby, Michael's, all of those. And I've just put some seashells on here. And this title here, Castles by the Sea, it was on one of the digi-prints that I had. And I thought, well, perfect. So I just put him on here. So you can't remove him, but you can certainly preserve him this way. And then there's a little pocket there. So that's the back. And again, there's the reverse. Now we're going to go back to the second signature. This is what I did with the other. Remember, I used 2 of the napkins on each of the front and back. And then I did a pocket. I had more fun with this. It was just really neat. And I thought, well, I thought about putting a snap, and I thought, no, I'm just going to use a little old looking safety pin and hold it together. And inside is another little journal. And it's Vintage by the Sea. I'm just going to go ahead and, I'm going to slip this off. That bow looks so pretty. I don't want to mess with it. But it's sari silk. And an old seashell. I've had that. Oh, goodness. I have a room that's done in nautical decor. And I have curtains that have shells hanging from them. And again, there's that Etsy shop that I've used. So I hope she doesn't mind. It's good advertising. It's called Vintage by the Sea. And I've put in a little pocket on the front, mimicking the paper that was used on the inside covers of the, and these are just blank on the reverse. Gave it a little bit of a fancy cut. I think there are like 32 front and back pages in there. So it's a nice little journal. Something you can take with you traveling. And then again, some more little journal cards on the back. Can you imagine going to the beach dressed in that? And she's supposedly fishing. That's a fishing pole beside her, but yeah, right. And there we go. There's another one. These are all blank. But they used to measure. Policemen would go out and they would measure how far above the knee the women's suits were. So we've changed a little since then. So there you have it. That's the reverse. And again, I was just mimicking the front underneath. And it just slides right in. Well, I'll have to put the bow back on it, but anyway, it's sweet. Anyway, that is it. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Hope it wasn't too long. Again, this one is for sale in my Etsy shop. And I'm going to call it Vintage by the Sea, I think. Because it's a lovely, lovely book. I had a lot of fun with it. That's just some old crocheted lace, cotton lace. So, lovely day today, Monday. I hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day, and I hope you have a lovely week. We're supposed to be reopening a lot of places. Alabama reopens restaurants and what have you today, and it's dine in, not just pickup. So that's nice. Of course, you know, you have to maintain certain distance and so on and so forth. So we're trying to do things smart and safe. So hope you're all safe. Take care. May God bless. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.